Well, welcome. We are now in what we call the Knox bedroom. And the name for that is simply because when the Knox family came to spend the winter here of 1778 to 1779, Henry Knox brought his wife, Lucy Knox, their little girl Lucy, and his wife Lucy was actually pregnant and would eventually have another baby while they were staying here, Julia, who unfortunately did not survive. But anyway, in this room, Lucy Knox and little Lucy would really spend most of the time in the winter. They slept in this room, they took their tea in this room, they ate their meals in this room, little Lucy would have played in this room. It pretty much was the room that they stayed in. But you'll see that this room, the Knox bedroom, is set up very differently than the room that we visited, some of you may have visited with us earlier, the Vanderveer parlor. The Knoxes were from Boston, they were from British descent. They were used to more sophisticated, more refined things, and they had so a very different set of things that they brought with them. And we have a log that told us what they had shipped down. These are not the furnishings that they had brought with them from Boston, but we tried to get materials, get pieces of furniture that were similar to what was on that list. So of the things we have in here, they would have had this beautiful table and these beautiful chairs. These are Chippendale style chairs that we know that they shipped 8 of them. A table for their tea. A little bit different in this room is this tea set, which was not from Lucy and Henry Knox, but later on a member of the Knox family actually donated this tea set to the Vanderveer house, to us to use. So it's a little bit newer, if you will, from the 1830s instead of from the 1778 time period when the Knoxes were here, but it's quite beautiful in the china set. And most interesting is when you look at the size of the sugar bowl, which is quite large. Sugar was not even in cubes yet. It came in little spikes of sugar, and you would chip off what you wanted. The tea was kept in a box, and it came in bricks as the tea that are here. So this tea set is very special to us, again, because it came from the Knox family. As we continue in this room, we're going to go and show you some other special parts of the room, the architecture itself, but also the furnishings. We knew that the Knox family sent down some beautiful things. They sent down a chest. This is a Chippendale style chest that they would store their belongings and blankets and so forth in. In this room also, the fireplace is different. If you remember in the in the Vanderveer parlor, the fireplace was not in a corner, but along the edge. This fireplace is more in a corner. That's very important because this room would have stayed much warmer because of the location of the fireplace. As we continue on, we see that there are some other chairs, the remaining of those 8, and the biggest difference here we'll see is the bed. The Knoxes shipped down a bed that's far different than the bed we had seen in the Vanderveer parlor. It had the draperies that hang over it. It has a trundle underneath where little Lucy would have slept. But it is quite a small bed, and people look at this and wonder, how did anyone fit in this bed? Well, most of the people in Revolutionary War times tended to sleep sitting up, like not fully sitting up, but like leaning up more. They just thought that was a better way to sleep. So even though the bed looks very small to us, that would have been part of the reason. They also, we know, shipped down a washstand that would have included things like their chamber pot. There was no plumbing, and they would have used that at night. In addition, there's a looking glass, or what we would call today a mirror, up on the wall. Only very wealthy people tended to have these in Revolutionary times because they were quite expensive to make the way they were made. We don't think anything of that now today with our mirrors, but a looking glass back in this era was a sign of a family that was pretty well-to-do. So I hope you will come again and see these things up close and see them for real. This is again the Knox bedroom, where we have furnished it based on the log that we had showing what the Knoxes had shipped down.